our buddies, Jonathan and Drew, are in studio with us.
They're waiting for their Chinese food. Now, Fizzy, I was telling you about this television show. I believe it's called Robo Sapiens, because robots are coming on. I mean, we basically used drones in the last war that we had.
That's right.
So, I mean, it is happening. Now, here's the other part of it. The whole human myth up to this point, and it's probably been for the last 100, 150 years, the robot always goes bad. We always have to be careful of the robot. Are you worried about humans with robots? And aren't you glad we can finally have this conversation for real?
We're having this conversation, and it actually means something. I don't have the robo-fear.
You don't think robots could ever turn bad on us?
No, I don't think so. I think robots can do things you don't want them to do. I don't think they would ever try to take over. I don't think they would be malicious in their intent. And, you know, we work around all kinds of equipment every day. How often does something break in here? I don't think it would be that hard to take the robots out should something happen. I don't have robo-fear.
Not at all?
I don't have robophobia.
But here's the problem. All right, you talk about it because you're looking over the course of your little lifetime going, I've mastered this. And 100 years ago, when people just had mechanical things, they couldn't imagine being surrounded by this much electricity. Technology doubles and triples and goes on and on. So in no time at all, these robots are going to be superior to the humans. You have to look out for future generations, not just for yourself. What's it going to say?
I was simply
antimatter?
No, I'm not talking about antimatter anymore. No, I was going to say that, well, even if the robots do end up, you know, being superior or whatever and taking us over, I'm not going to be alive, so why should I really care?
Because it is our position.
I don't care about those other people.
The whole thing about
kids is not going to be my family.
Well, I mean, the whole thing about being a human is that you want the species to go one way or another.
But I don't.
I mean, it's not why we don't go around using up every tree. You know, you want to leave this place on a spiritual level. You want to leave it as good as you can.
But see, I like the trees. I don't like the humans.
Okay, so I can't talk with you. This is worse than your antimatter talk. It's so high. Fuzzy, what about the genetic engineering? Does that scare you at all?
You know what, that doesn't scare me too much because I think they're only trying to make it better. In my family, we have a history of heart trouble.
Right.
If I could do something that would, you know, strengthen the heart through genetic engineering, yeah, I would probably look into something like that.
Doesn't even seem like it's a gimme for all these people that are afraid of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even seem to me that we should break stride before we worry about it. Because at the same thing, people were worried about heart transplants. Aren't we playing God? Yeah, maybe we are. So what?
But we were given the know-how.
As soon as we picked up a stick, we started playing God. As soon as we started controlling fire instead of letting lightning do it for us. All right, here's our friend Laura Brooks. She's a little afraid of genetic engineering. How you doing, Laura?
Hi, guys.
Hey, Laura Brooks. It's the beautiful niece of Albert Brooks. By the way, I saw the movie this weekend, Finding Nemo.
Oh, did you like it?
He's fabulous.
Oh,
Is
good.
it the best thing he's ever done in his career?
It could be the best thing ever.
That's awful.
And it's funny that he's in the #1 movie, but with his voice.
Yeah, you don't usually see that.
Laura, what scares you about it? And I hate to get back to the topic at hand, and I'd love to let Fez talk for the 4th time tonight about saving Nemo, whatever.
Finding Nemo.
Whatever. Genetic engineering, what scares you about this? Gattaca?
Yeah, Gattaca, exactly. What scares me is where does it end? I mean, what's the... nobody's going to stop at just, manufacturing hearts and livers. They're going to want to manufacture a whole human.
Well, we are going to here's what you're basically going to do, I think, with the genetic engineering. You'll take the sperm and the egg and then pick out the bad parts and make a really great human.
But that's horrible. Like, I think, because who determines what makes a perfect human? And then...
Me. No, I mean, you're doing that with your children already, right? You're trying to give them the best of you and not the worst, hopefully. That's what...
Or else you wouldn't bother sending them to school.
If you could, with your kids now, if you could would you want to take out anything that they have now? Any of their traits that they have?
Yes, sure. There's always traits that you wish you could take out for them. Things like if you have a shy kid or a depressed kid, obviously you'd want to not have them have to deal with that. Or let alone before we even get into physical stuff like Fez was talking about.
But how boring would the world be if everybody was perfect anyway?
But isn't that what we're trying to do? Isn't that what all evolution's about?
But evolution comes naturally. This isn't natural. This is us doing this.
That makes it natural. The fact that we've figured out this much. I think we got to do it.
I'll tell you what, if we're creating whole new humans, I would not mind at all having a spare Fez around when I need another liver, a kidney, a lung, something.
No, you already got a spare tire around. Isn't it enough for you?
Rude.
Now, you can't do that. You can't take another person and hang them up in the closet. And then whenever you need something, yank them out of it.
Well, maybe if we could just grow the individual parts.
So you would, yeah, well, of course.
Let's do that then.
Yeah, if you need a new colon, sure, grow one up. But you can't take another human being that has thoughts and feelings and just farm them out.
What if we just didn't do the brain part of it?
Oh, yeah.
And it was just on life support.
All right, so you're saying neck down?
Neck down.
Yeah.
Is all I'm looking at.
Hey, let the kids know when they're Chinese. They're starving. Laura, I don't know. I think that if you could find out.
Hello.
If you could find out that you could pick some of these things out. I mean, you do not want a kid born with any disease, right, Fez?
Exactly.
And, I mean, you'd have to be insane not to check on that, right, Laura?
Yes, but they're not going to stop at that.
Yes, but I'm saying...
The most perfect looking, and then what happens to the people that have kids naturally? And then those kids are going to be treated differently.
What, you don't think kids get treated differently now from the people who have money?
Well, but it's not the same.
You want all kids born the same?
Well, I don't want kids that are genetically perfect. I don't know. Like, how can you...
It seems to me like the process is going to happen anyway, whether we use science or nature.
But see, if it's nature, then that's a different thing. Because then it's like evolution came about naturally, and like we evolved from the apes, the fish, whatever, and I don't understand how we can say now, okay...
I don't have any producers here tonight. I want somebody to come in here and take this number off of me. 4 guys besides Billy. I don't know where any of them are.
Everyone has disappeared.
So, yeah, but Laura, see, I kind of disagree with you there. I kind of think that we have our evolution is to get involved. That is part of our evolutionary destiny, if you will. That's what we're doing all the time. I mean, people would be dying at 23 years old if we didn't get involved.
But wasn't that part of evolution that the lifespan became longer? Just natural evolution now?
No, absolutely not.
That's not natural selection when people are coming up with, vaccines for smallpox and polio and everything else that was, killing people off.
That's true.
But I think the survival of the strongest is because we were able to come up with those vaccines. I think it fits perfectly in with it. And I say we keep trying to invent these perfect people until finally we're standing face to face with God. There he is.
Wow.
And God goes, you unlocked it. You did it.
You figured it out.
Some of these people want to call in 866-277-4969. Laura, it's a brave new world. You got to be brave if you want to go with us.
Oh, I just don't.
I'm in. Fez is in.
I want to do this.
Yeah, I definitely want to do it.
Anything that gets me a smaller ass.
It's not going to happen so much for you, Fez, but wherever you sell your sperm.
I'm giving it away.
I heard. Here's Mike. Mike, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Mike, go ahead.
First, I want to say I really like Fez's idea because, well, I have tendonitis in my right knee, and I'd love to have a spare me laying around so I can chop that knee out and put it in me so I wouldn't have this problem.
I think that one's a gimme, too. I mean, I think you'll just grow.
Hello?
Yeah.
Billy, what are you doing?
Dang, Billy. Honey, then he waves going, it's all right, it's all right.
It's not all right. It's what Cameron's talking about. Mike.
Yeah.
Go ahead, buddy.
And also, what I was thinking was the kids that would actually be perfect and they'd be genetically altered, I would think that they'd be the ones who'd be made fun of and not like the poor kids. Well, in a way, the poor kids would be, but the kids that would be genetically altered would be looked at like test tube babies, and everyone's going to make fun of a test tube baby.
Nobody even knows who the test tube babies are.
Yeah.
And I remember people going, oh, my God.
Wouldn't you make fun of them?
I make fun of anybody who's born cesarean. What do I care? You can't go by me.
That's mean.
But actually, when you even think about cesarean was weird to people.
Sure, when you're actually, instead of letting the woman die in childbirth or the kid dying through trauma.
As evolution's predestined, right?
We figured out a way to get the baby out and save 2 lives.
But if it was up to Lauren, we'd be living in a cave somewhere, occasionally bumping into each other, and that would be it.
And experiencing coffin birth.
But I just don't like the idea of creating what you like out of people and making a person out of what.
That's what we're doing with our children. It's what everyone's ever done with their children. You try to give them a better life. That's the whole point.
Right, but ultimately it's up to them. It's not.
Right, it will certainly be up to them as well.
Not if it's predetermined.
I don't think you can predetermine someone's destiny. You can predetermine. Hopefully, we'll be able to predetermine their physical characteristics.
And IQ level and personality.
Whatever they do with that, they do with that. Mm. But if you can keep them from being diseased, or let's say hit a baseball, why not?
The health things I can understand, but it's when it goes further, like the baseball thing, that just doesn't make sense to me.
But if you couldn't, here's what you want. You want the healthiest, smartest baby you can possibly have. Mikey D was bragging about Lene getting into the higher first grade. It's part of being a human.
Oh, brother.
All right, here's Jeff. Jeff, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ron and Fez.
Hey, Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, man, that's a cool topic. But here's what I'm going to throw this at you guys, and maybe you guys can talk about it. What do you think about it?
Sure.
I always feel like the spirit of a person and the soul of a person, not that they're the same, but a spirit meaning, their emotions, how they react, how they feel. Their soul may be more of a God-given eternal thing.
So you're going spirit.
What the heck's up with all that, man?
You're going spirit more like Pep Club. That's all, my friend. It's no big deal.
Sure. You're seeing spirit as a personality.
I'll call Mikey later tonight after he smokes his half a bone.
You get the 3 a.m. emails.
Is this Mike the teacher? All right, we got Mike the teacher. He normally teaches us stuff. Mike the teacher, you're on the air, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Hey, Mike.
First, the amazing thing is that we've been doing genetic engineering for thousands of years. We've reshaped the plants and the animals around us. If you think about it, there was never an age where wild poodles roamed the earth and cows gave 50 times more of the milk than they needed. We've been doing that by crossbreeding and domestication for thousands of years, so we already see that power. The real scary thing, Ron, you're absolutely right, is this new field called bioethics, meaning what right of privacy does the person have to his own, what you would call instruction book, his own identity, which we now know is basically your DNA makeup. The DNA of you, me, every other human, plants, bees, trees, snails, and whales are exactly the same. They're made of the same 4 base codes in different combinations. This is simultaneously, this is where the technology becomes a very double-edged sword, the genie in the bottle, just like nuclear power. We have the ability now to shape and maybe treat and cure diseases, but then we also have this maybe ability to alter things and not know unintended consequences, a la Jurassic Park and things like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If the worst thing that happens is we get some T-Rexes out of this, then I'm in.
If the worst thing that happens is we get some really attractive, smart kids, I think we're heading in the right direction. Who wants an ugly, stupid kid? No two parents ever sit around going, I hope we have an ugly, stupid kid and with a bad heart. With what I call a Watley-style heart.
So it won't live too long with its ugliness and stupidity.
In terms of the robots, the really cool robots will be, and this is going to happen, the microscopic-sized robots that will be inside your body, doing their thing.
Oh, it's Fantastic Voyage, Ronnie.
I would rather have that than get an operation.
Hey, okay, Roddy, there you go. Imagine a little machine that goes around all day long, thousands of them, each the size. I'm not talking the grain of sand. I'm talking the size of maybe 50 atoms wide. This is genetic engineering, genetic machines, that all it did was go around all day and scrape the plaque off the insides of arteries and or maybe clean out your liver a little better. They're even talking about one time.
I'm so in, Mike the teacher.
Yeah.
Where do I sign up for testing?
Maybe in the future we won't have to wipe, Fezzy. Those things will take care of it.
Because talk about still living like cavemen.
I know.
With your hand digging back there, it's wrong.
All right, Fezzy, can we focus, or are you going to go back to Nemo from this? All right, also, hey, Mike, I want you to watch this thing. It's on the Learning Channel, I think, again tomorrow night. Because, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I haven't heard of this.
Oh, it's the best, man. But then they went and they put this thing. Somehow they're in a rat's brain. And the rat,
I love it.
A rat is wearing like this little machine on his head that is connected to the brain.
Oh, he's got EEG wiring. He's hardwired.
Yeah, they're making it run up and down steps that it hasn't even decided.
Oh, God.
And it's like a robot rat.
I wonder how that feels to the rat. Does it feel natural? Like,
yeah.
I feel like running up and down? Or it's like, why am I running up and down?
And all I was thinking of, I used to be a Little League coach. If I could have just had that for the kids, I know we'd have been able to turn double plays. And I could be playing like a little video game.
That's what it is.
So, Laura, I hope this puts you at ease.
None of this puts me at ease because this one, the next big revolution, the last one was computers. This one, and it's happening now, is biological, and it's really scary. When will insurance companies, instead of just taking the blood for high cholesterol, are looking for predispositions to diseases that you might not even get or show themselves until you're 40 or 50? I mean, this is scary stuff. Who will maybe somebody put it this way: a compact disc or a DVD, definitely. That has 4.7 gigs of information. That's definitely enough to store the genome of a human. So in the future, as soon as we can do it, we can store the information for a Ron or a Fez on a DVD.
That would be great. Buy it this Christmas. Buy your own Ron and Fez DVD. Fezzy and I will be selling them. We'll be your two best friends. I would say this, though, and I think, Billy would agree with me. Maybe not, but I think a lot of people would. You know how they say you have that alcoholic gene?
Right.
Well, you don't want that for your kid. You'd love to get rid of that alcoholic gene. So why would you want your kid to grow up to be a drunk, an addict?
Billy's kid, you can stop the cycle right here and now.
That goes back to the whole nature versus nurture, which reminds me, you can't. People who think clones are going to be that exact same person again are out of their minds.
Yeah, I'm not interested in clones. As I am coming up with something a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, if I got cloned now, my clone would grow up with air conditioning. All right, it'd be a little different.
Exactly. All the little things that happen to you, all the little illnesses that you got, or little things like that, have so much to do. And of course, your whole brain makeup. I think it's going to be. I mean, it will be possible. The problem is, I think, will be like Jurassic Park said. Well, the scientists don't stop to think. Should we do it? They just think, can we do it? That's what happened with the atomic bomb.
Well,
that's what bothers me about it.
Just the fact that we're going to do it anyway without anyone thinking about the ethics involved.
Exactly. We're not thinking about, in 100 years from now, how it's going to affect everything.
Well, I think when you're working on something like that, you're trying to think of the highest good that can come from any sort of experiment.
But you also have to think of the consequences.
Unless you're making Wolverine or something.
Even then. You wouldn't want to have his exoskeleton or whatever it's called?
I would like it, because I fall down a lot. So I don't think there's really anything to worry about, Laura. I think that's all going to be good.
Oh, I don't know.
It's just nature at a faster pace.
I don't know. It's so
much faster.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best part. Finally, we don't have to wait for some things.
I mean, just look at, like you said, the machines. It's funny you mentioned, I didn't see that Robo Sapiens, but you mentioned a robot that really looked human in its movements.
Yeah, and Honda's making this thing. It's called like a Simo or something like that?
That I haven't seen, because so far even the best robots have always sort of, looked robotic. Spielberg, when he started Jurassic Park, actually at first because the computer animation generation was so new. He actually tried prototypes of building a robot T-Rex life-size that would be able to run down streets and chomp things. And we do not have that technology.
One day.
Robot. Well, think about you see those little arms, the little metal arms that swirl around and swivel and things like that.
Billy has those.
Right, okay. But think about it. That your fingers can crush a grapefruit or something really, really tough.
Damn straight.
Something other than grapefruit, sorry. But it can also pick up 1 grain of sand off a table. The sensitivity of our hands and our fingers are way beyond anything a machine has made so far. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. It's way beyond anything that humans have created.
All right, Fezzi, come on and look at this. I have the webpage. It's a SEMO. I got it from, this is from Honda. Now, it looks like a little spaceman, and you can see how it looks like a little person, like it's only about 120 pounds, but it's like if we put Drew in a spacesuit, it would be walking around like her.
But does it give you any kind of clue as to what that thing is for? Because I've seen it, but I don't know what the hell the point of it is.
It does look a little bit like the robot that was on Gilligan's Island. It's kind of built like the Tin Man, where you see the actual metal joints for the legs to move.
But it moves a lot better than the Tin Man did. But I'd say this. I think it's really to get us iced teas and cold drinks.
And that's all I've ever wanted.
Yeah.
Ronnie, you read my mind. I get the Sharper Image catalog every month, no matter what. And there's always that robot. It says brand new, high tech. And all it can do, all you see is a drink in one hand, and it can swivel around and talk 50 different words to your guests. I mean, how weak is that?
Now, what is there to be afraid of, Laura Brooks? Don't be afraid of iced teas.
It'll be like Sleeper, the Woody Allen movie that have the house robot.
You just can't be going by old movies.
Yeah, but then you get the Orgasmatron, too.
Yeah, you got to look ahead. Thank you so much, Mikey.
All right, thanks, Ron. And I'm just going to comment, and you guys come on nothing. The FCC decision today, man, makes basically bad news for everybody, I say. That's my opinion only.
All right, we'll talk about it later on, okay? We'll do it another night.
Okay.
Thanks. That's Mike the teacher trying to educate us again.
All right, here's Tony. I guess he saw that same show I saw. Tony, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, Tone.
Yeah, I was watching the special about that robot that Honda's making.
Yeah.
And they've actually worked a certain degree of artificial intelligence into that robot because, like, they can tell it, go get me a cup of coffee or program it to do that. And it can walk all through the building that it lives in, essentially. And it can, like, walk around couches and if something in its way.
Yeah, but only if it's programmed to do that. That's one of the problems.
So it has to have the layout of the room programmed into it?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't even. You can, like, if something happens to be in its way that isn't normally there, it
might have sensors and be able to turn around, but it cannot make the decision, hey, something's here. Should I jump? Should I move out of the way? No.
Say like that vacuum cleaning robot, where it just bumps into the furniture and then just moves on to another part of the carpet.
All right, this one Japanese scientist came up with this angle. He says that he believes in the future that when a baby is born, they will give it a baby robot that will move through life with it so it will know that person and know their wants and needs.
Wow. That sounds great. I mean, you're always going to have a friend.
Well,
virtual slavery.
See, I don't like that either.
Why don't you? What do you want to do? You want to get back in the cave, Laura? I'm not getting in the cave anymore. I'll tell you, when people
we're done with that,
saying they don't like technology, I couldn't go back and live in the 1970s.
No, that would be brutal.
That would be so awful to me right now.
But what's the point of that, though, of having...
no power steering.
No, I mean, what's the point of having a robot baby grow up with the... Like, what is the point of that?
Then that robot will know you, know your wants and needs, and be able to be there for you. Suppose that we have robots take care of all the manual work that we have. Then we're free to do other kind of thinking, whether we're creating things or art or watching television.
That's what I'll do.
But right?
But then just create robots that can, clean the house and stuff.
No, this is a robot that needs that reflects off of you. That knows what you need.
That's not creepy to you at all?
No, not at all. Not even slightly. I find it comforting. What is it, Drew? Come on.
You know, I got yelled at last time I said something. I'm just
come
gonna
on.
be
I want to hear your high
quiet.
talk.
I'm just gonna...
No, take the risk.
Do you really need that, though? That's why you're supposed to have other people and
That's
you're supposed to have family and stuff like that.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever
Now,
heard.
even if you did have it, that's perfectly...
No, you have that and other. You know what? That's like saying
you have one. It's called Jonathan.
Okay, now if you have the robot, fine, and it grows with you and everything, and that's like your companion and your...
No, it's not your companion. It's there to take care of your needs, much like your phone is.
Okay, that's fine. It takes care of your needs. All right, I can accept that. That's perfectly fine. And then you're saying that this will open doors for other people to have,
literally
higher thinking.
Yes.
To have higher thinking for art and different...
Maybe.
And that's great, but you know what? Not everyone is supposed to be doing this. That's why we have the little minions to run around and do all the hard work for us.
What minions? Where did that...
Now superior.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. And Laura's the same
I'm
way.
one of them, too. I'm one of the minions.
No, I mean, you don't know. You haven't had the full life that the people in the future are going to have.
I don't want it, though.
You
I have
don't
my
know.
life and I'm happy. They can have their own life. I don't care.
Who would want the future life?
Let's just have this for smart people.
For smart people? So how are you going to rate intelligence? Like,
we're going to give them to everybody, but then the people go, I'd rather do the same job as I'd rather do the same job as a robot. Go ahead.
Okay,
that's going to be the
cool
first clue on who shouldn't get one.
That's fine. That's totally cool with me. I agree.
All you have to do is sign up.
Jonathan has a robot. Her name is Drew.
I know.
All right, hold on. Here's Ian. 866-277-4969. Here's Ian. Ian, you're on the air.
Hey, Ian, go ahead, buddy.
Hey, how y'all doing? I watched that thing of Robo Sapiens. Yeah, that was pretty freaking money. I mean, they had some cool stuff on there. They did say that about the robot companions, like having a robot that grows and learns.
Yeah, the robot. The robot.
The robots.
Oh, I messed that up, but it worked. The robot for life. For life.
It's gonna learn with you. It's gonna learn all your likes, all your needs, everything that you do. So literally, like you were saying, you're always gonna have someone who's agreeing with you, someone who's always right there with you. And
see, I can't imagine anyone being against this. We have things in our lives that do this now. TiVo. Well, actually, it'll check out the shows that you select, and it'll go and try to find other shows that are like that. We have these things already.
Now, just like the same way, and then TiVo tries to guess what you liked,
right? This
robot could do this. This robot could go, I know Fez likes a pizza on Monday night. I'll take care of that.
Thank you, robot.
And then, and at the same time, Fez, perhaps this same exact robot could go, hey, Fez, I noticed that you're getting into the same pattern that you've had since you were a little kid. You're getting involved in, a situation that you've done, and it's never come out successful. And like a friend, but it would even be better because you don't listen to your family when they try to tell you that.
Of course not. It's going to show you the historical data of these patterns before.
Right.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah. And then you could be saying, you know what, you're right. I am staying in the house too much. I got to get out there, Roby.
Thank you, Roby.
Open the door. Get my coat. I'm out of here.
But then isn't there a danger then that the person's going to be so attached to this robot thing they're not going to make,
Are you attached to your car?
But there's a difference.
I love my car.
Yes, everyone does. But imagine at the beginning of cars that people would think, oh, my God, these people in the future, they're not even going to know how to work a horse. Because back then they knew horses like there was no tomorrow. And it's the same thing with, and I'm sure when we invented matches and lighters, they're going to go, what happens when you're caught without a lighter and a match? These people are going to freeze it. Everything changes. Things move ahead. The people in the future are going to have different challenges than you.
I understand that there's a difference between, I think, like your car doesn't talk to you. You don't consider your car a friend, and that...
Maybe you'll just consider these things tools.
Appliances.
People used to talk to their horses. Some people talk to their cars. It's up to each person, do you?
Michael Knight used to.
And you know what? We're getting talking cars now. People, what are those little things that they have?
Like the OnStars?
Yeah, the OnStars are great. They've made things easier for people, particularly people who can't read maps.
But then once they get into giving them a personality, I mean, who programs them?
The person, each person themselves.
They're going to grow together. They're going to learn together.
You. Yes.
Didn't you have a Furby?
Laura, I just think that you're not going to be ready for the future. And it's happening now.
And we want to bring you into it. We don't want to leave you behind.
Well, I don't want to... No, I'm sorry.
You're bringing down the future. All right, let me see. Is anybody else agrees? Mikey, would you be for this all the way?
Absolutely.
My mic. Here's what I'm saying now.
Familial.
All right, Rory, I'm sure you're for it. You're a gadget head, right?
I would love this. I think it's the greatest, possible invention
Let
out
me ask
there.
you, would you have genetic children? Would you try to fix them so they would be better?
Oh, yeah, totally. I would make them as perfect as possible.
And you know what? I would think that any parent who didn't would not be a very good parent. If you said, oh, I don't want my kids checked for heart disease. I don't want to care whether my kid's colorblind.
See, people are doing it now and they don't even realize it.
But is it going to be available to everybody or just...
I mean, pretty much exactly what Fez has said. People are doing this anyway. I mean, how about kids getting on Ritalin,
Laura,
antidepressant and stuff like that?
What is your thing of it has to be available to everybody? What has ever happened on this planet that's available to everybody? Of course, the rich people get it first. That's the history of the world. That's the survival of the fittest you keep speaking of.
And then when everyone else sees how cool it is, then they make it affordable.
But obviously, Warren Beatty's kid's going to get it before yours. Just like every gadget.
Warren Beatty and Annette Bening, they don't need any generic engineering for their kids. They're going to be gorgeous.
Now, Bill Gates, on the other hand, he wants the brain, but he'd like it to look a little better.
He needs some Fabio cells.
Everybody needs a touch-up. All right, we got to take a break here.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk to you about this again, Laura.
Okay, guys.
Laura Brooks. She's afraid of the future, Fuzzy.
That's on her business cards. Laura Brooks, afraid of the future.
One of the things they said that they're going to have in the future is that your clothing will be able to tell you if your temperature is rising and if maybe your heart's beating too fast, and maybe if something happens to you, your clothing will alert 911.
All right, my shirts are going to be ringing the damn paramedics off the hook. From my temperature rising and my heart beating too fast?
Not with the genetic engineering, because you'll be fine. Cool as a cucumber at all times.
I know, put some Freon cells in me. I'm ready. I'm ready now.
I can't imagine anybody having a problem with any of this.
It all sounds so good. My favorite thing in the whole conversation was when Mike the teacher said about the microscopic robots that are going to clean the plaque off the inside of your arteries so that you're not going to, have a clog.
Now, stuff like that, I'm perfectly fine with stuff like that. That's great. That benefits me in some sort of way, but just having some useless companion around to, get up because I'm too lazy to get up and get a drink.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm not cool with that.
That's the reward for seeing the future.
And that robot would know, hey,
and I
she's
have
a
a
type,
robot like that.
she's a type of person who likes to do that. The robot's not going to stop you from doing things that you want to do.
Robot lover.
That's what confuses you. You think the robot's going to go, excuse me, that's my job.
Back on the couch.
You're going to have plenty of time for effing. That's what you need. More time for effing.
Oh, God. 15 years, we're going to see Drew on TV at a Free the Robots rally. God, I can see the future myself.
Streaking around naked.
All right, Fez, this is my new thing. Where did you get goth from? Have you noticed it, Rory?
What is it now?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's or...
God.
It's not even God. It's God.
I'm not going to say God.
But you got to stop saying God.
God.
That's the biggest thing since you, worrying about your staplers. All the guys say to me, what is with the constant God?
And he says it with such a breath, God. Just really lets
All
that.
right, I think I got the message, Mr. Television.
Now that you're up for TV tomorrow, is it driving you nuts?
Now that you feel you can say whatever you wish?
Yeah, it gives me a little freedom now. Gives me free range.
You're free range chicken is what you are, my friend. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Ron and Fez.